This is the Lean Builders Hoots on the Ground podcast with absolutely, positively no bullshido. Join us as we dig into exactly what lean construction is and how we can use these concepts and strategies in the field. This podcast will be different as we journey to job sites and mine the minds of lean builders, all in effort to pass forward building knowledge from those who have put their time in to learn a better way. Because that's just what lean builders do. What's up, y'all? Adam Hoots here, the lean builder, Hoots on the ground with No Bullshido. And today I got my man, Mr. Geoff Lobley, with me. And I'm super excited for a couple of reasons. One, Geoff, you are a construction professional. You've been a construction professional for a long time. You started really in the trades. You've kind of gone up through every position. You've been a teacher, an educator, you're handling risk. Man, I am so excited to get into this, and I appreciate you taking some time to be here today with me. Thank you, Mr. Geoff.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. And I hope folks are noticing my hat right now. And I hope some of you Americans might be thinking this is a cowboy hat, but it's not. Geoff, this is a hat that I got up there in Calgary. It was a white welcome hat, if you will. So just want to make sure we're all on the same page there before we get going. Geoff, I always start with kind of opening up and figuring out who people are. And in this episode, I'm excited to do just the same thing because you're a special dude, man. You've got a killer resume, but beyond that, man, you're a people-y people. And you feel it when you're around. At least I do personally. And I'm excited to just kick it to you, man. Can you just tell the crowd a little bit about who you are?
A bit about who I am. Resume and LinkedIn page aside, Adam mentioned hit it on the head. People focused. Now that's really hard for me. I am not naturally a people person, but I learned the hard way a bunch of years ago that in order to succeed in any aspect of any industry, it's not about the technical work. Anybody can do the technical work. Sorry to all the technical people out there. But if you want to advance your career, you got to focus on who's around you. You got to learn to talk to the people around you, the people at other companies that are at your level, hence networking events. And that's how you advance. That's how you get better at your job, is by focusing on the people aside from the part of your job description. Project coordinator probably doesn't have network with others in order to advance your career. It's not there, but it should be. Does that answer the question, Adam, or did I go on a tangent?
No, I think you crushed it. I think you bring me to this socio-technical world that I've been living in, and construction is so very much socio-technical, and you often find, on people's resumes, the technical things about them, where they went to school, right? What their GPA was, what projects have they built. These are all technical components of us, but you don't find the things that matter, like high trust individual or people makes people feel important, like those kind of things. And again, I felt it, right? We've only hung out twice. I think the first time I met you was in Auburn. Had a
Mm-hmm.
blast with you there, and you're just fun people to be around, right? You create fun environments. And where did that come from? Where did that start? Like, how did you said it's not natural, so like
Oh no, I,
what, tell me about
don't get me wrong. When we hung out, I had a lot of fun. We did a lot of great things, and then I went back to my hotel room and crashed. I'm not an extrovert. I seem like it when I'm out and networking and doing things, but it's exhausting to do. So yeah, I go back to my hotel room and just don't even take my clothes off, just flop on the bed. rest for a few minutes before I go out and for the evening's events, or I'm done for the day and I got to get up, take my clothes off and put them away properly, put my pajamas on. Where did I learn that? I had a couple of strong mentors right around a really good time for that type of mentorship. I was falling apart due to a loss in my family. And as a result, I wasn't doing a good job. And I got called out by my boss on that very explicitly, very bluntly. But it doesn't mean it wasn't without empathy and caring. She wanted me to succeed. And because I was so crushed by the loss I'd had, I was able to listen to her, which I hadn't been able to before. Being a people person is not easy for a good chunk of us. Sometimes it takes the right mentor at the right time and the right space to finally get through, to finally share the lesson. And what's fun, wonderful for me is I've had students reach out, a few years after graduation and say, "Hey Geoff, I'll confess I don't really remember what you taught, but the life skills that you tried to teach me, those have helped in spades. They've been amazing." And I'm not talking one or two students, we're talking 10 or 12. And if there's 10 or 12 who've reached out, there's probably another several hundred that I touched who just aren't comfortable reaching out or haven't connected the dots that I'm the one that helped, which I'm okay with. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
I think it's a beautiful thing is you're kind of going back through like, where did I learn that? And you mentioned a couple mentors. Can we shout them out here? I mean, who do you remember
Yeah,
names?
absolutely. Lisa Gibson was the one who probably helped the most.
Okay,
She's the one I reported to directly.
gotcha.
Um, I just forgotten his name. Another
I'm
project director at Ledcor pointed out some people to watch as they did their thing.
mm,
And they seemed like the tough technical kind of person until they showed up on a job site and solved problems with the owner, just smoothed things right over.
yeah.
It was, I still can't do that,
It's
but
a, it's amazing. Some people just have that effect, right? Where it's just like it's almost like a natural flow of conversation where you can kind of feel the energy and shape or steer things. Like there's a million ways to deliver bad news or tough news, and I don't know why, but it seems like some people just have the right words for the right occasion that help flow that concept or thing we're trying to communicate right to the other person.
I can do it sometimes.
Hmm.
I can do it right sometimes. To say I do it right all the time, I'd be lying.
Yeah.
But I find that the better the relationship I have with the client, the easier those tough conversations are because they know there's no bullshit. I'm not hiding anything. Um, I get it right sometimes, but I get it wrong as often as I get it right. And then I need to bring in one of those fixer's the wrong word that implies some gangster affiliations, but somebody, one of the people I work with who can come in and just take it down to where we can have an intelligent conversation, not eliminate the emotions in the room because emotions are real
Hmm.
and they're important and we need to let them happen, which we actually really suck at in construction.
Yeah, we do. When you said that word, my heart dropped a little bit. I was like, "Oh boy, where are we going here, Geoff?" Like, oh man,
Yeah, you just lost 10 subscribers.
yeah, yeah. I'm not listening to this bullshito anymore. Yeah, but man, you're so right though. It takes a level of trust to be able to do that though. And I think what you're doing even right now is you're kind of introducing us and getting us going. It's like you're being vulnerable and honest and transparent. And like you're telling me, hey, I don't do it right every time, right? Like there are some times that I get it wrong. And to me, that's what leaders in the industry should be doing is being enough open and vulnerable and willing enough to talk about when they don't do it right and how that made them feel, right? Like what were those emotions? Even like it's kind of the pot calling the kettle black here because I'm not that person. So maybe you can help me, right? Like what is the construction industry missing when it comes to emotional intelligence, or even rather how do we practice that stuff?
You hit on a word I want to explore a little bit.
Okay.
Vulnerability. Yeah, I know you just lost another 10 subscribers.
That's all right. Yeah. We'll get them
Uh,
back in a little bit. I'm confident.
yeah, we've got a problem. Invulnerable. It doesn't mean the opposite.
Hmm,
Invulnerable is what Superman is. You cannot be physically hurt. Now, emotionally, we're going to leave that for Superman for another day. But we don't want to be seen as weak because vulnerable can be a synonym for weakness.
100%.
I don't think it is. My perception of it when Lisa and I started working together was very much no, no, vulnerability is a weakness. I'm not going to do that. No, vulnerability is about being open enough that you can build that trust, that you can build rapport. And the more vulnerable and open you are, the faster you can do that. So the project I was on when shit went sideways for me personally, and Lisa was able to come in and explain some things to me, that's where I started believing that vulnerability was a good thing. Opening yourself up, even a little bit. Be personable, be personal. Don't just talk about work. One of the best days I had making connections, I spent 40 minutes talking with a guy on the phone about his Mustang collection. Now, he happened to give us a really good price after that, and we won the job. But why did we do that? Why did he drop his price for us? Because I built rapport by being vulnerable initially, spending that time talking about things that aren't work. It's not about exposing everything in your full medical history and my psychologist is named so and so. No, no. You may get there, but not initially. But share something personal about yourself very early on in the relationship. I need to be home early because I'm never going to make it on time on Friday because I have a life. And it's not just about they can check the box in the timesheet saying sick day or something like that, or they can be a little more open and say that every Thursday they have to take their kid to the doctor for this reason. And my partner and I switch it off. So she'll do 1 week, I'll do the next. So I'm going to miss such and such. Again, it's not about exposing everything, but a little tiny bit of personal information goes a long way. Shows your vulnerability, shows your openness, and encourages it automatically in others.
Yeah. And
Go
sorry,
ahead.
no, I was just going to add, as leaders in this industry, You've really got to listen for those moments, right? Because I got a buddy, Jesse Hernandez. Like, I'm a huge fan of that man. He's changed my life in many ways, but he talks about vulnerability. He talks about emotional transparency and these type of things. And he talks about water skiing, right? Where like
Mhm,
before people let you in, they'll kind of be water skiing on top of the water, and then they might throw you a bone, and then if you hear it and you ask the right question as a leader, all of a sudden that person might kick off one of those skis and start barefoot skiing, right? Okay, and you might go, and then they'll throw you another rope, and it's almost like then you can find that next question and the answer if you like really, really focus on listening to what someone is saying. And then eventually, man, before you know it, that person's scuba diving with you, right? Like they're not even coming up for air. And maybe we are talking about our psychologist's name and
mhm.
things like that, like you said. So I love what you're saying. And I just can't help but think about that water ski to scuba analogy.
I want to say one thing though.
Yeah.
You touched on asking the right question when you hear that moment of opportunity. Ask the question, the one that comes to mind. It may not be right. In fact, it may be completely wrong.
It might not even be the one that you wrote down.
Yeah. So ask the questions and listen to the answers. Because if you're not hearing opportunities to go from two skis to one ski, I was never good on two skis, never mind one. The
Water's a little frozen up there too, I imagine, huh?
that too. Um, if you feel you're missing your opportunities, you are, and just ask, make the opportunities. Hey, what do you do after work? What do you think is fun? Well, for me, it's riding motorbikes, and yeah, it's a little frozen right now. It's minus 25 Celsius.
Whew.
Yeah, yeah,
Whew.
and I have to leave the house today.
Oh
Uh,
no. Bundle up, baby. I hope
oh
you have
yeah,
these nice Sate mittens like what I have. Oh man, they're so oh, I love them.
I actually do not, but I got some nice down gloves.
I bet you're heavily
It's,
invested in winter garments.
yeah,
Yes. Heavily invested.
yeah. Short tangent. I took my beard off for charity about, geez, almost 10 years ago now. And it was minus 5 Celsius, so not terrible. But oh my God, was it cold? Oh, even
You
when we
agree?
got home and went to bed, rolling over onto the pillow was cold. It woke me up every time.
I love it.
Took me about a week to adapt.
I love it. I love it. Man, you'd make a great boxer. I'm like trying to pinpoint the chin right now, but I can't. Like, I don't know. I don't know where it would be. I like it.
Yeah.
But I want you to bring this full circle for me, right? Because we're talking about like this people thing and this listening and this vulnerability and emotional intelligence. And but we're construction workers, right? We're construction folks. So on the job site, what is that? What does it look like? I guess is a question. And how can we practice that or be more intentional about that?
I hate to say it. God forbid me from thinking this. You got to make space and time to talk about it,
Mm,
and not just when in the four persons meeting.
mm,
It's got to be on the somehow. It's got to reach the people on the tools.
yeah.
Now we can encourage ways that the four people can do that with their crews, which we should, or we can have a shut down lunch. and bring in somebody who knows what they're talking about. And we've actually got a fantastic program through the Calgary Construction Association that will come to a job site and talk about mental health, emotional intelligence, setting workplace boundaries, all these things. And what they've had, he thought the very first time he'd go onto the job site, he'd be heckled off. No, no, he had 60 people sitting in front of him listening and asking good questions. I wouldn't say the questions exposed to the vulnerability of the worker, but a 1 hour session on mental health, that's a band-aid, given the mental health crisis we have in construction. But at least we put a band-aid on. We've got workers asking good questions now. So hopefully that spreads. And the fellow from the Construction Association tries to hit 2 job sites a week. At that rate, he's never going to hit all of them before they wrap up.
Mhm.
And that's okay. He'll get them on the next job. But that targeted approach of this is a problem. Canadian stats aren't that different from American ones in terms of suicide by percentage. We have fewer than you do because we're a smaller market. But by percentage, we're not that different. And it's terrible. We exceed the number of suicides as compared to veterans. Think about that for a minute. Our work is so traumatic.
Hmm.
We have a real problem. I remember hearing a superintendent at a Lean in the Field event say that he really wanted his team to go home on Sundays, only work 6 days. Are we in an industry that has normalized 6 days a week for work? Yeah. Go to any other industry. Any other. How many days do they work? If it's 6, it's by choice for the overtime. It's not an automatic assumption that you're going to work 6 days a week like it is in construction. Now, if I'm working in a remote camp job, there's nothing else to do. So work me 7 days. But most of our work is not remote camp work. We're within a drive from home. I don't know. This is one area I have very few thoughts on solutions because, like most of the industry, I don't fully understand the problem.
I guess I struggle with this one, Jeff. And I've been talking about it more and more because I come from that exactly what you're talking about. Like, hey, I still work Saturdays, right? But there's also a part or a piece of me that says, yeah, well, Jeff, that's how I got to be into this seat right now, man. Like, I've almost worked 2 careers in my 22-year career, And essentially, right, if I'm working some of the hours that is normalized in construction, I'm working 2 jobs, basically, 2 40-hour a week jobs, and so what do you say to the argument of, "Yeah, Jeff, it's a lot and it hurts and it's hard on me, but I'm also learned twice as much."
My first response is, did you learn twice as much?
Fair, fair.
Because I don't believe that. Did you learn more than you would have working a standard 40-hour week? Yeah, probably, without a doubt, in fact. But was it twice as much? And here's my other question. Was it worth it?
At what cost?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, I know you got kids. How much time do you get to spend with them? Less than you'd like, I think.
Generally, yes, absolutely. Especially
Yeah.
these days. They're grown and gone at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. Moved out, done university, and now working 60, 70 hours a week, just like that.
Yeah. Not quite there yet, no, sir. But working in that general direction, I'm sure.
I've done it.
Yeah.
I've done the working 70 hours a week just to keep my nose above water.
Mhm.
I've done it. I didn't like it. I mean, don't get me wrong. The space I was in was comfortable. It wasn't a bad place to be, but still working 10 hours a day and another 7 or 8 on the weekend. That's when I did all my change orders. Yeah, the developer came to work Monday morning with a stack of change order faxes on his machine.
Back in the fax day, yes, sir.
Yep.
Old facsimile.
Yeah. Print the schedule on 8.5 by 11 so I can fax it to the trades.
And we think we have it bad these days, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Of all the tools I miss, the fax machine's not on the list.
Yeah. Well, I guess we had to work 80 hours a week to get all them pages fed through that fax machine. Now we can just pop them in an email and call it good, huh?
Yeah.
Ah,
And
um,
hope you select the right David.
yeah. And included the attachment. Um,
Hey, one of the changes Outlook has made is when you say, please see attached in the body of your message
I've noticed that.
and you forget the attachment, it says, hey, I'm missing something.
Sure about that, dummy? You
Yeah.
sure you want to send that, dummy? Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Let me ask this. This is a lean construction podcast, right? So I think I really want to get into
Mhm.
some lean construction. And so can you tie everything that we've been talking about, right? We've talked a little bit about people, a little bit about vulnerability, a little bit about grit, some balance, I would say. Can you help tie the lean construction bow on this thing for me? How does it relate?
Yeah. Let me run through the 6 core principles
Yeah.
and see if I can tie things together there. We've been talking a lot about respect for people. Frankly, if I stopped there, probably not a bad place.
Yeah.
But let's look at how people fit in the other core tenets. I'm going to start with continuous improvement.
Right.
Do we want our workers to improve? Do
I
we?
hope so, because we're in a tough state right now.
Uh-huh. We want workers to be better at what they do all the time. Now, once they hit journeyman, what do we do to them? Yeah, not a lot, unless they decide to become a foreman. But let's go back to some of the stuff I talked about earlier with mental health stuff. We had the one event, there were, call it 5 good questions out of a group of 60. What do you think we're going to get if we send him back today to that same crew? Maybe 10 questions, maybe 7. But is that an improvement? Absolutely. And maybe we've improved our methodology of interacting with the tradespeople so that we get 15 good questions. So there's continuous improvement on both sides. Focus on flow.
My favorite.
Workers don't like it when the work doesn't move relatively smoothly. Yeah, they're going to bang their knuckles. They're going to drill through the studs, and it's messy, dirty work, hard work. But if they can't figure out how to get the work moving in a flow-like state, they're going to have to come back tomorrow and do more work. But if they can get a flow, even over multiple days, ideally, ooh, sexy things happen. One of the nice things, I was on a job where I was having a hell of a time getting the trades to meet our schedule. And the electrician finally sat down and said at the foreman's meeting, we're meeting Geoff's schedule. If you're not done, we'll just put electrical boxes in over top of you. That one bit of commitment, that one focus on flow, just straightened the workout. That one bit of buy-in was, you know what I did? Nothing.
Okay.
I stayed out of his way.
Smart man.
He came and asked questions. I answered them. That was it. But yeah, that flow happened. It's a small tower job. It's not hard to get flow on those, but it's just as hard to lose it. Just as easy to lose it, I should say. All right, eliminate waste. This one's difficult. How do you look at people in terms of waste? Have they been trained? Do they understand continuous improvement? Do they understand their role in this on site? Are they technically competent? Now, if you can answer yes to all those questions, you keep the person. But there's some people on the site, you just wonder, if I gave you a broom, you'd sweep with the wrong end. You laugh because you've seen it.
I know. I have 5 people in my mind right now that I'm thinking about that I'm gonna not say. I'm gonna.
Good idea. But those people are now wasting resources on site.
Yeah.
What do you do? Especially given that it's probably not your labor. It's probably one of your trades labor. God forbid it's the trades foreman.
I got one of those too. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got one in my memory. That's enough. Thanks. What do you do with that? If it's your own labor, you should fire them. Lay them off.
Mm.
If it's your trades labor, maybe a short conversation with the foreman is in order to make sure that they understand and see what you see. But if they decide to keep the person, so be it. Generate value. This one's fun. I like approaching almost every conversation from the perspective of value rather than waste. How are you adding value to this job site today? Well, I moved this cart across site 14 times. No, now you're into waste. But at least the cart was on wheels.
Unless there was somebody at each point that maybe needed something from the cart that added to direct value, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, and if that's the case, you move them to indirect value, and I'm good with that.
Yeah. But I'm with you. I know what you're saying, what you're getting at.
Yeah. But if we start with, okay, you're here for a reason. You're here to build something. You're here to add value to the client that's paying us all. Because remember, the money to pay you doesn't come from your employer. It comes from the GC who gets it from the client. So we're adding value for them. So what do you see that adds value to your job? Start looking there. Then after we get some good conversations around, just walking the site. Hey, George, how you doing? Are you adding value right now? No, I just came back from the porta potty, so it's going to take me a minute. Fair enough. Or the conversation, hey, George, how you doing? What are you doing today to add value? You see all these blinds on this cart? They all have to get installed.
Yeah.
Cool. Looking forward to seeing them up because that means we're one step closer to done.
Defining value, even just
Yeah.
helping somebody define between us, what does value add mean? Yeah, that's brilliant.
Yeah. And don't focus so much on the statistics that are out there because between value add and value supporting activities, we're only about 16% productive, 20 depending on the study. And you probably, given I just said you want to take the stats out or not share the stats with the workers, don't have them listen to this podcast. I just rolled out stats.
Yeah, I can delete them if you want.
No, it's all good. I leave it to the editor's choice.
I think it's important that people know that because it's real life, right? It's I think that stat goes something like 55%, 45 to 55% of what we do on site is a waste. It's like
But
25 to 35 is necessary but non-value add, and then the other, like you're saying, 15 to 20 is
true value add.
true value add. Yeah.
Now, the hard part with that waste bit, talking to your friend, your friend on site, your neighbor, that's
Mhm.
important.
Yeah.
It's waste, but it's important. Using the porta potty, waste in so many ways, but you kind of have to do it. So what do? You make it efficient. You put it close enough to the workers that they're not hiking a kilometer round trip. I've seen that on a job site.
Hmm.
Um, doing their safety checks, doing their paperwork for the day. These are all important things that have no bearing on what the client wants. And yet they're necessary.
Absolutely.
All right, the last one, optimize the whole. I deliberately started with continuous improvement instead of optimize the whole because I'm really struggling with optimize the whole as far as people go.
Hmm.
Optimize the crew. We kind of talked about that and eliminate waste.
When I think of it, it's like oneself, right? Like, how do you optimize? It's a little bit about what we were talking about with those hours putting in, right? I don't know. Where does that lead you? Where does that take you to thought?
I guess if each worker understands that they're part of a whole, because I've seen too many workers on site. I'm here to do a job. This is my job. I'm going to do it. And it better be ready for me. And then I'm done.
Hmm. Hmm.
I've seen too much of that. And not
Hmm.
just at the worker level, superintendent, project manager. But if you start realizing that you're part of an ecosystem on a job site, you're part of a group, a whole that needs to look out for each other. I love it when the trades solve problems by themselves on site. I didn't even know it was a problem.
Hmm.
And I look at the solution, it works.
Yeah. When I think of that optimize that whole, I can't help but bring it back to that one human, right? Like, how do we optimize that one human being such that your emotional health has been looked out for, your spiritual health has been sought out. And again, I think in construction, we just do such a really, we're so focused on the health of a building and like getting the things done so that we can provide for our families that we often neglect ourselves in that venture. And again, I'm not the one to be talking about this after self-admitting my early hours in my career, but I just I feel like there's something there. I got this Whoop device that helps me track my sleep, my rest, my recoveries, my and it tracks my sleep debts. And boy, can I feel when that thing gives me that data. And the data is undeniable. And so when I think about optimizing the whole, yeah, absolutely. We want the whole job site to run. But if I and this is kind of systems thinking, which you and I flirted with a little bit as well. Like, if I'm gonna optimize the whole job, then I better have optimized humans working on that project, or else the optimization of a whole project is impossible.
I like where you're going about wrapping all those ideas under optimize the whole person.
Yeah.
I would love to be on site again and be able to put up some mental health posters. Yeah, I know posters, not everybody sees them, but start including them in the weekly meetings.
Hey man, you send me some posters, I'll put them up on the job sites in our daily huddles. Absolutely.
Yeah, I haven't got anything handy,
Hey,
but
Chat GPT me something, baby. I'm sure that creative mind in there can come up with something beautiful. I would love that, man.
see what I can do. Wonder if I can figure out how to get paid to do it.
Hmm. I'll throw you some cash for it. That's easy, baby. They could be like I keep thinking Jimi Hendrix. What's the Grateful Dead leader who is a great artist?
Jerry Garcia.
Jerry Garcia, man. It could be like the Jerry Garcia of the job site. Oh, what a like nice, beautiful poster. Don't forget to take care of yourself. A little tiger's eye or something. I don't know, man.
Little tidbit of the way the brain works. Don't forget to do a thing. That's what you just used. It's normal. We do that a lot. But what happens is the human brain skips out the first word. Don't
Hmm.
forget to. So
Hmm.
now it's forget to do the thing.
Shit.
Yeah. So if you flip your language around, and this actually goes back to value versus waste, remember to do
Hmm.
the thing.
Hmm.
The recipient of the message is much more likely to do it.
Hey Jeff, remember to send me some posters, Geoff Lobley, Jerry Garcia style, huh? And then we'll start doing some advertising for you. How's that sound? We could be your first guinea pig here, baby.
All right, I'll see what I can do. One thing, Adam,
Sir.
I'm going to need from you some local resources.
Okay.
So phone numbers, outreach programs, anything like that that I can put on the poster because look after your mental health. Stop. That gives no resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if memory serves, you're in South Carolina.
I'm in Greenville, South Carolina, yes. And I've got a few, well, one, Brent Darnell is an amazing human being. He's an old dog as well. We're getting ready to have an event with him. I'm super excited about him, but I can't remember the name of it. But there's a couple of local. Angela Gardner is very involved with a local substance abuse, mental wellness organization that I can get you in touch with, or so that you can put that information on there. I'll absolutely send you a few different resources that I would be honored to put on there.
Sure, I appreciate it. Yeah, everything I know is local Calgary. So
I will remember to send you those little resources.
Yeah, and I'm not picking on you. And
I love it. No, I don't think that at all. I think it's
good.
brilliant, and I think that's exactly why this podcast exists, so we can pick up on little things like that. When you notice them, please help me continuously improve. That's what I'm after in life.
And don't get me wrong. Hey, don't forget to comes out of my mouth more often than I like to admit.
I'm sure. That's a hard thing. I feel like being a lean leader in this industry, such as yourself, like sometimes it's hard to really practice what we preach, right? Like that can be one of the hardest things, right? When I'm on a job site and I'm making decisions and I'm like, Man, wouldn't post that decision on LinkedIn, like, can you take me through any of those struggles that you've had or
Hmm.
anything that comes to mind when you hear that?
The first one is my own practice. There's a lot of stuff in this office that aspires to be lean, but it's not there. That's not true. I 5S it regularly. Do I need this document still? There's a recycle bin under my desk. And the answer is usually no, I don't. But just I decided to use a Yeti this morning instead of a coffee mug on my hotspot. Not sure why,
Hmm,
but it just felt like the right decision today.
I like it.
On a larger scale, I taught a student my lean module in the course. He did good work, came out with a better understanding of lean, all good. Do you think his boss can drag him out to a lean coffee? No, I consider that a failure because he just will not make time for this, which makes no sense to me.
Heard that before though.
Yeah, I don't have time for that. You bullshit. You don't have time to not do it.
You know, when I hear you say that, it makes me think of Carlos Saplisky, who I believe maybe introduced us through the Calgary community of practice for lean. And her and I, we were preparing for a lean construction blog, one of those lean in the field presentations on systems thinking. And we used to play, like, I would just pop it on randomly. I'm in a hurry to get things done. Oh, I rushing. You know what song I'm talking about
I
there?
do.
Yeah. And it's just so funny because yeah, it's like, man, we go and go and really the value is in the stop, the pause, the reflect, the learn, the not even the outcome, just the like what's been gained on that journey. I think we so miss that.
I did a session at the Lean Community of Practice on ref- reflective practice.
Mm, tell me about that. Yes.
Yeah. So, short version, because it was a 90-minute presentation, in the moment, it's go, 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 right?
Yeah.
Here's a problem, solve it.
Yes. Faster. Yes.
Yeah. Why are you so slow? Your brain is moving so quickly, but it's still reflecting. It's called reflection in action.
Mm,
You have to be reflective, otherwise, that problem's not going to get solved right. Now, the other type is reflection after action. And don't quite quote me on that. It's been a while since I looked at the material. But things have slowed down. Write down what you solved. Reflect a little bit on, did you do it right?
mm.
Did you get the right people in the room? Did you make sure everybody had a voice? You know, take 5 minutes to do it. Another thing we can do on reflection on action, that's correct. Reflection on action is your weekly trade meeting on site. pull 2 lessons learned out of them before they leave. Hey, what didn't go well? What do you think you were a rock star on?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you wait till the end of a job or the end of a phase, nobody's going to remember the cool stuff, and we're certainly not going to remember the positive stuff. But that reflection in action and reflection on action are key to success. Now, I just whittled 4 months of research down to an hour and a half presentation. Granted, there was an activity down to a minute, maybe two. So be careful with this.
Yeah.
There's a lot more behind reflective practice than I'm able to convey today. But it's important.
It's something that's unlocked in my life, I'll be honest with you. Like just being able to look back and do start, stop, continues on different increments or periods in my life. It's like, boy, I like that. Let's do more of that. Or hey, that sucked. Don't touch that stove anymore, Homer. You know,
Yeah,
like,
I did that last night.
did you?
I was checking the heat of the pan,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I tremored a little bit and wound up touching it with a knuckle.
Mm-mm.
All right, Adam, sorry to do this to you. I've got an appointment I have to get to.
Please get to it. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. Can you just close it out for me however you want?
Adam, it's been a genuine pleasure to speak with you for this podcast. Thank you for pushing me to do it. And on that note, find small ways to practice lean. Find a small increment, maybe 5S your desk, 5S your computer files. Those are easy wins. Do it at home. Doesn't hurt there either. On that note, though, gotta go. Thank you for your time.
Love you, Jeff. Hope you have. I'm praying for you, brother, all day, every day. I got your back, man. And I'm gonna
Thank you,
send you
Adam.
some resources. If you ever want to talk, just holler. You're sitting there doing nothing, just call. I'll answer. I promise.
All right.
All love, man. Talk soon.
Thanks, Adam.